What's up, everybody? Late night, watching college football, Arizona State game just got over. Crazy game. Great game, crazy game. Herm Edwards, first big win with Arizona State. I called it. I called it. I called Arizona State in an upset, and they end up winning 16-13 over Michigan State. Last second field goal. I knew it. I tried to tell you guys. I tried to tell you guys that Arizona State was going to get this dub. Alright. Arizona State is one of my favorite teams to watch in the Pac-12. Not going to lie. I love their quarterback. I don't know who he is, but he's athletic. He's quick. I've been watching him for a couple years now. And then Herm Edwards becomes head coach, a guy that knows the game of football better than pretty much anybody. He becomes the head football coach of Arizona State. I just figured something would click, and sure enough, Arizona State gets the win 16-13 over Michigan State, who's ranked 15th. So, after that, we're going to go on to the TCU-SMU game outcome, where I picked TCU. I didn't get off of work until about 11 o'clock Friday night. But that game was close at halftime. It was 14-12. TCU was up at half. The score ended up being 42-12 TCU. They play Ohio State Saturday, and College Game Day is going to be there in Arlington, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. If TCU comes out flat against Ohio State's going to roll them. Mark it down. But if TCU comes out, their quarterback's, he's alright. He's quick, he's athletic. And they're saying their defense is pretty tough. It should be a good game, but you never know. So, TCU wins, puts me up to 1-0. I finished, I'll do the tallying at the end of the video. So, after that, New Mexico versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin was struggling early. I think they were up 17-7 somewhere in the third quarter or something crazy like that. They were struggling, but they must have wore New Mexico out because they ended up winning 45-14, which is nuts. I mean, if you're up 17-7 in the third and then end up going, they went off in the later part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter to win 45-14. And if it sounds like I'm tired, it's because I am. It's like, hang on, let me check what time it is. It is currently 2:22 in the morning when I'm recording this. My bad, pencil. Next game up, Western Michigan versus Michigan. I knew this was going to be a blowout. Michigan won 49-3. Like, not even close. I didn't watch any of that game because I knew it was going to be bad. Alright, first incorrect answer I had was the Mississippi State versus Kansas State game. Mississippi State ended up winning 31-10. Like I said, I didn't really know. I figured Mississippi State was just overhyped SEC team like they typically are. And I figured Kansas State would come out and perform better than what they did, but they didn't. Their offense didn't click at all. So, Mississippi State got a well-earned victory there. Oklahoma rolled over UCLA, 49-21. Kyler Murray, he's the man. He is the real deal. He's got Oklahoma moving in the right direction. I think he was originally committed to Texas A&M a few years back. Wasn't going to play there because I think he committed there when Johnny Manziel was going on. Then transferred out to Oklahoma. Still didn't play because of Baker Mayfield, and now he's finally getting his chance, and he's the real deal. Portland State versus Oregon. Oregon blew them out 62-14. Didn't watch that game because it was a blowout. Like, it wasn't going to be interesting. William and Mary versus Virginia Tech. That game probably wasn't even televised. Virginia Tech won 62-17. Yeah, Virginia Tech's going to be really good. Rutgers versus Ohio State. Dwayne Haskins. I know Ohio State's played two really, really bad teams, Oregon State and Rutgers. Dwayne Haskins can throw the football. He looks like the real deal. He 9 touchdowns through 2 games, about probably 600 or 700 yards. And also, Tate Martell got his first 2 career touchdowns in this game, or his first passing and rushing touchdown in his game. In this game, ugh, I can't talk. It's too late for this. He had about a 51-yard pass right on the money to Terry McLaurin for a touchdown, and then he took off on the ground for another about 50 yards, I'd like to say, for a rushing touchdown. So they look good. I mean, as a Buckeye fan, I can't really complain, you know. Yet again, we haven't really played competition. TCU's definitely our first real test in prime time. I think our D-line is talented. They'll be able to rush the quarterback and stop the run. I don't really think TCU can beat us unless we just make stupid mistakes or Haskins just doesn't show up. But from what I've seen, Haskins is the real deal. But I'll make my projections next Friday night, I believe. Yeah. So then we move on to Arkansas State and Alabama. Alabama won by 50, 57-7. Didn't really watch that game. My grandpa did. He's a big-time Alabama fan. He's born and raised in Alabama. Yeah. No point in watching that game. There really wasn't a point in watching the Ohio State game, but that's my favorite team, so I'm going to watch them start to finish, you know. Georgia versus South Carolina. I thought this game would be closer than what it was. Georgia absolutely killed them. 41-17 on the road, making a statement. Like, I called Georgia. Gosh dang, I called Georgia winning, but I didn't know it would be that big. Like 41-17, that's crazy. 2 top 25 schools. You do you, Georgia. You do you. I knew you were a good team last year. Got the same quarterback back. For the second year in a row, so that's probably good. Kirby Smart, coaching wise, is acting. He's tough. He's going to be a tough coach for years to come. Under Nick, like he was under Nick Saban at Alabama, so he's got Georgia moving in the right direction. Ball State versus Notre Dame. I wanted to go with Ball State, ended up going with Notre Dame, and Notre Dame only won by 8. Notre Dame won 24-16. That game, in-state rivalry, Ball State put up a fight. I thought they were going to come back when I was watching it. I thought Notre Dame was going to end up somehow choking it, but they didn't. They won 24-16, so I'll get there. North Dakota versus Washington, didn't watch that game. Washington won 45-3, no shocker there. Youngstown State versus West Virginia, didn't watch that game. West Virginia won 52-17. South Carolina State versus the undefeated national champs, the Central Florida Knights. UCF won 38-0. Didn't watch that game. Southeastern Louisiana versus LSU, Louisiana State University. Joe Burrow, 31-0. LSU won. Clemson versus Texas A&M. Clemson's toughest game of the year, according to, analytics, was Texas A&M. And Clemson barely won that game. If Texas A&M would have converted a 2-point conversion at the end, would have sent it into overtime. However, that didn't happen. So Clemson wins 28-26. Gets a bunch of breaks. I mean, it happens. Clemson always seems to be the team that, luckily gets into the Final Four. Whether it's they lose to Syracuse and get in. Somehow they get in. Or just win the close games. They just always seem to get into the playoff every year. Doesn't really make much sense. I mean, it does because they win their games, but it's they always win them by a close amount when they should be blowing these teams out. Even though they probably shouldn't blow Texas A&M out because Texas A&M is a good team, good environment. But that was closer than I thought it'd be. Samford versus Florida State. Samford versus Florida State. Samford was up, I think, I can't remember what the score was, but they were up a good portion of this game, and Florida State ended up winning by 10. That's trouble for Florida State. That's not good, fam. That's not good. They only won by 10 against Samford. 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 That's Florida State's on the struggle bus. And for some reason, when I did this the other day, when I wrote the teams down, it didn't show me that Miami was still ranked, but Miami played a nobody and won 77-0, so it's whatever. Let's see. Why did I? No, okay. I don't know what I did. Alabama State versus Auburn, another in-state rivalry game. Got to look out for those. Auburn won 63-9. Kentucky versus Florida. This is my second incorrect answer. I chose Florida, and Kentucky finally beats a ranked SEC opponent and says, hey, we're not a basketball school, man. We're a football school, too. You know, they want some football love down in Kentucky. No, I'm just kidding. I love Kentuckians. They win 27-16 over Florida, and it was on the road in the swamp, I'm pretty sure. Tulsa versus Texas. I don't think Texas is ranked anymore, but Texas wins 28-21. Tom Herman, what are you doing, dude? That's not good. That's not good, fam. You got to be killing Tulsa. Like you're Texas. Come on now. Penn State versus Pittsburgh. This game was off to an interesting start. It was 7-6 for most of the first half. Penn State was up. So their offense wasn't really doing well first half. They ended up scoring, I think, twice before halftime, if I'm not mistaken, to make it 21-6. And then second half, they just flipped a switch. They ended up winning 51-6. So I don't know what happened there, but I mean, first half Penn State doesn't look good, and then second half is just like, boom, they're really good. So I don't know. USC versus Stanford. I did not know Stanford was ranked 10th. And USC didn't play offense at all, apparently. Stanford won 17-3, so not much offense involved. Just a grinded out type of game. Kind of probably boring for the fans to watch it. Stanford wins 17-3. UConn versus Boise State. Boise State won 62-7. Blew them out like expected. And to round out the night, the game that just got over, Michigan State versus Arizona State. Arizona State wins 16-13. So after week 1, I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21-3. I will take that. Pretty good week for me picking. I mean, top 25 teams they don't really play, the toughest opponents. So next week will be interesting for Ohio State and TCU.